Hey guys, it's Poems and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is going to be my 2023-24 Championship predictions video. At the end of the start of the end of the vlog, I said I was going to try and do one of these, and I think I'm going to, hence the video. So yeah, don't take anything like this for granted. I haven't done a lot of research into the other teams, obviously besides Stoke, since I'm a Stoke fan. So obviously I might be wrong for some things, but this is my prediction. Obviously depending on how they did last season, how they finished, and also what I think is going to happen, and some players they brought in and out. So let's get straight into the first team. So I'm going to go alphabetical order of this prediction. So we're going to start off with Birmingham City, and I've put them in 20th position. Birmingham had a very weird end to the season, finished 17th overall, lost Chong and also Job Bellingham in the summer. But they have made some decent signings. Dion Sanderson, who they've taken from Wolves, who Stoke were in the race for, as well as Sariki Dembele, who used to play Peterborough, went to Bournemouth. Didn't get the game time at Bournemouth, but I've watched him play and I rate him as a winger. But things are looking up at Birmingham. They've got a new owner. Not sure the name, like I say, I've not done a whole lot of research, but Birmingham should survive. I put them in 20th because I think the teams that were going to go down, they have a better squad than them on paper. And honestly, from what I've heard, they're a very injury-stricken team, and that's probably what's going to set them back again this season, so that's why I've put them in 20th position. Next up, Blackburn Rovers, I put them in 11th spot, purely because of the end of last season. They obviously couldn't get the playoffs, so they finished 7th last season, so it was a very, very good season for Blackburn, doing what they did with the squad they had. Very, very impressive, but they've lost players like Ben Brereton, who's also gone to Villarreal. Bradley Dack's also gone. And I reckon that's probably going to be their downfall. Just lacking goals is probably going to make them fall low in the table. That's why I put them in 11th spot. But still a strong team, and obviously these teams can possibly be anywhere in the league. It's a very, very unpredictable league, so that's why I've gone for Blackburn in 11th spot. Next up, I've got Bristol City, and I'm going to put them to finish 15th. Similar to where they finished last season, finished 14th. One of the sides Stoke's Bergie sides, so don't normally like putting the teams that did better than Stoke below Stoke. Hint of where I'm putting Stoke in later in this video. But they're obviously a decent side. Obviously Nigel Pearce is obviously building them up, and it's a slow process at Bristol. I'm hearing a lot of Alex Scott, a youngster who's going to be worth about 20 or so million euros or thereabouts, I've heard. So if he leaves, it's going to be probably a bit lower. Obviously I'm hearing big things from Bristol, but the manager can keep Bristol. He's a tough manager, he'll keep you in the fight, so not much to say. I'm putting Bristol in 15th, and straight away I'm going to go straight into Cardiff. I'm going to put in 21st again, who they finished 21st there last season, just avoiding relegation, and probably would have gone down if it wasn't for the point deductions that Reading got, and I think also Wigan got, so they should have probably gone down. They've signed Aaron Ramsey, so that's going to be good when Stoke go to play Cardiff later in the season. I'm sure you get a good reaction from Stoke fans, but I only see a slight improvement in goals, and that's probably the reason why I put them in 21st place. Next up, Coventry City. I'm going to put them in 4th. Coventry, obviously, playoff final losers last season to Luton. So very sad they didn't go up, but they've still got a very, very strong squad. They've lost Gyökeres to Sporting Lisbon. I just reckon they'll do really well again. They've got Ellis Sims from Everton on loan. If people say he's going to kick on, I reckon he'll do okay. People are saying about 30 goals a season, but I don't think. Probably about 15, 20. But the goals I reckon will be shared. They got Sakamoto, some player, the Japanese player. I reckon he'll kick on in the Championship. And there's also rumours that Gustavo Hamer might be leaving as well. So if they do lose Hamer, I reckon they'll finish a lot lower than 4th. But probably still in that playoff picture again. They've got a lot of money from Gyökeres, so they've got a lot of money to still rebuild their squad. So no matter what happens, even if Hamer does leave or stay, they've still got a lot of money to work with, so that's why I put Coventry in 4th. Huddersfield Town next up, and I put them in 17th position. Obviously finished about 18th last season, I think it was, and they just survived on last few games of the season. Neil Warnock, obviously he's got 75 now, kicking on a bit, probably his last season before he actually retires again. But I'm not seeing a lot of positive things from Huddersfield. They've got Tom Edwards on loan, which he's not a bad fullback. I've seen some Huddersfield fans probably think he's average. He is probably an average right back. Still needs a lot of Championship experience for us to get in Stoke's lineup. But obviously, We've got Keanu Hoovers, that's probably why we sent him out on loan. But they need more. At the moment of the time recording, it's the Tuesday, and the season starts on Friday with Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton. But at the moment, Huddersfield need to do more with the squad to keep them up. But what they got, I reckon they will survive. And again, it will probably be late in the season when they confirm that status. So that's why I put Huddersfield in 17th. Next up, I've got Hull, who I put them in 18th. And again, it seems like they sort of underperform, especially with like Liam Delap, who they brought in. So they've only got like 3 goals last season. He started out on loan at Stoke, scored 3 goals. Then he got sent to Preston on loan. I don't believe he didn't score any goals there at Preston. So it just shows what he has. The Championship is a very physical league. He's not a very physical player. He's a good goal scorer on his day, but I just don't think he'll cut it in the Championship. Again, you still got players like Estupinian, and he's still a good player in the Championship. But like I say, all I've heard is that it's a slow build at Hull. It's a slow rebuild, so that's probably why I've got you low down. But Hull will do better in the future. Next up, Ipswich Town, obviously freshly promoted from League One, finished second last season. But everyone's been on the hype thinking they're going to be up playoffs again. I can see why. They've still got a strong squad. And obviously they were running right last season. I think the last 15 games they'll drop about 4 points, which is insane considering they go out to the Championship. It's obviously a very much more physical league. And I think that's going to be the hardest test for all the teams in the Championship this year. With those that have come down much better than those that went up, etc. So it's going to be hard for Ipswich. I've put them 16th. Simply because there's a lot of hype around them, but I'm trying to be more realistic. 16th would still be an okay season for Ipswich. Just still stay in the Championship for another year, and then they can build on the next season. You've got players like Harry Clark, who was at Stoke on loan last season for Ipswich when they had him bought him permanently from Arsenal, rate him so highly. Yeah, so you get a lot of soos out of him from Harry in the Championship again. I'm sure, like we did. Such an underrated player, and he will kick on a lot, but I've heard that you're a very, very high energy team, and that'll probably get you to a nice mid-table-ish finish. 16th is still respectable, I think, for Ipswich Town. Now on to one of the first teams that are from the Premier League last season, Leeds United. I've put them finishing 5th. I think they'll still have a very, very strong season. They've still got a lot of big-name players on the books, like you've still got Bamford, Dan James, Sinisterra, Harrison, Somerville, to name a few, and even Nonto. Like, I rate him so highly in the Premier League, such a young Italian forward. Daniel Farke knows the division as well, got promoted twice in Norwich. You've got a very good manager and a very strong squad, so playoffs should be in the bags for Leeds. I'm not sure if he'll go up from the playoffs. It's very hard to predict the playoffs. It's like, let's say no one would have predicted Luton to go up, but it's very, very hard in the playoffs. So I reckon they'll get there. If the squad remains as it is, you could be pushing the top 2 positions as well. So, like I say, Leeds could be making a push for the other 2, and one of them being Leicester, who I'm going to predict to win the league. Put them in first place, 18th last year, only just going down to Everton in the last game of the season. This only lost Maddison, Tielemans and Barnes. They're the other ones that have gone. And they brought in Connor Cody, very good player, very strong player. Just didn't cut it at Everton last year, really. He was obviously just struggling a little bit. You still got Jamie Vardy, you brought in Harry Winks, you've got Harry Souter, who used to play for Stoke. I think still got a fair price for him. I don't know if Leicester did, but Ndidi, Pereira, Wout Faes as well. You've got a very, very, very strong squad, Leicester, and I reckon you will walk the league. And I've put a small prediction that Leicester will break their record that Reading have set, which is 108 points. I reckon they'll get something like 109, 110 points. That's my wild card for the season. I reckon they'll get that. So that's why I put Leicester to win the league. Now we're on to the M's of the league, Middlesbrough and Millwall. I'm going to do both of these together because I didn't know where to put each one. I put one in the playoffs, one just outside of it. And I've gone for Middlesbrough in 7th and Millwall in 6th. Middlesbrough, obviously a very strong squad. You've still got Chuba Akpom, obviously got the golden boot. He's going to kick on again. Probably not do as well as he did last season. Like I say, it's a much more difficult league this year with like Leicester, Southampton, Leeds, not that coming down. It's going to be so hard to keep up with those squads they've got, the money they've got, and the teams they've brought into the league. So I put them in 7th and I put Millwall in 6th simply because they're consistent in the playoff push. They know what to do. Gary Rowett is a good manager, underrated at Stoke when he was there a few seasons ago. So I've put Millwall in 6th. Bradshaw will still get some goals. Defences, I reckon it's going to be a lot of 1-0s, 2-0s at Millwall. You'll get some wins, get some 3 points, get yourself over the line at the end. Probably not make it in the playoffs to go up, but you'll probably get in the playoffs. That's why I put Millwall in 6th. Next up, Norwich City finished 13th last season. I've got them finishing in 12th, simply because they haven't really got the squad. They've underperformed last season. Most people had them to win the league. I think I put them to finish first as well. Last season I put Burnley in second, and I put Norwich finish first. They've probably got what it takes if they bring in the right players to push playoffs, but at the moment with what they've got, they underperformed last season, and I think they're going to underperform again. Ashley Barnes they brought in probably will get you a few goals. He's a big physical lad, what you need for the Championship, and you've still got players like Josh Sargent, but you've got a very aging defence. You've still got like Grant Handley at the back, so it's going to be tough, I think, to keep up, but I'm going to go mid-table again for Norwich City. Now, next up, League One winners, Plymouth Argyle. Very, very strong pre-season. I put them finishing 19th. Again, simply because they just come up, be a bit more realistic. It's a lot, like I say, it's a tough league. If they do stay up, it'll be great for them, obviously. They brought in Morgan Whittaker, who I rate really high, so he's a good sign. He will probably keep you up at the end of the day. But from pre-season, I've looked at pre-season, you beat teams like you beat Hearts. That's a good team to beat on paper, and I reckon you'll survive in the Championship again. So that's why I put Plymouth in 19th. Straight to the next team, Preston North End. Normally the mid-table club, finishes about 12th, 13th. That's where I put them, in 13th spot. Finished 12th last year. It's going to be a tough season for them. I don't really see them making a lot of big improvements other than they got Calvin Ramsey in from Liverpool. He's on the bench for Liverpool most of the time, and he's a great player. Really rate him. I reckon he'll do okay for you and get you into that 13th position. You just need to get a bit more in the window. You've got a strong midfield, lacking up front, lacking at the back, so it's a very average squad, and that's why I put Preston in for the 13th spot. So next up, QPR obviously had a very, very weird season last season. Started off very, very, very strong, even with top of the table at one point, and ended up finishing the season in 20th. And I've got QPR to finish bottom of the league, 24th. It's, like I say, a very, very poor season last season. They've still got a poor defence. They have strengthened it with Begovic and Morgan Fox. I think Morgan Fox was unlucky not to stay in Stoke squad last year. I thought he did really well up there with Ben Wilmot, but he's a good signing, not going to get it wrong, but Begovic is aging. I'm not sure he'll do really well in the Championship. Like I say, it's a tough league. Leaky defence. You still kept hold of like Elias Chair and Willock as well, which is big for them, but I just don't see the momentum going in your favour, so that's why I put QPR finish bottom of the league. Next up is Rotherham, and I've got them finishing one place above QPR. I've got them also getting relegated in 23rd. It's probably one of the weakest squads in the league. They've not really strengthened it really. Free transfers. No, it's happened a lot with Stoke. Stoke did a lot of free transfers and didn't really get them too far, but currently they just don't have enough to stay up, which is why I've got them 23rd. Next up, Sheffield Wednesday. I got them one above Rotherham, finishing 22nd, and then also go down. They've got rid of their manager Darren Moore. I don't know why. I think it was about wages or something. I don't know why you should have sacked him. You got promoted, give him a bonus for getting you up, and try and keep you in the league. You got a squad that likes to play Darren Moore type of football. And now you got a new manager in. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. Squad depth and quality. Barry Bannon's good. You brought in Ashley Fletcher from Watford. Not got a lot of game time at Watford though, so that's why I've got you going down in 22nd place. You're going to struggle. It's a really tough league this year. Now next up, the last of the Premier League teams to come down was Southampton, who finished bottom of the league in the Premier League last year, and I've got them finishing in 2nd place, simply because their squad is still basically the same. Ward-Prowse might be going to West Ham, Lavia might be going to Liverpool, but the squad's still there. It's still Che Adams, who else have forgotten here, Sulemana, Lavia, Alcaraz. I rate him so highly for some that have their highlights and stuff from the Premier League. And Aribo, you've still got a great core of players there that will do well with the Championship. Probably not as, like I say, not as great as Leicester did, and that's why I put Leicester on top. But 2nd place, going straight back up. The first time I'm asking, you should be finishing in the automatic spots with the squad you have. It can get weaker and it still can get better. I reckon you should be finishing in second place and going straight back up. Now then, on to my boys. I put a Stoke in 8th, which is probably very, very optimistic. Before we announced the signing of Ryan Mai and also Wesley, I had Stoke in 10th. But obviously with those signings, I was like, well, bumped us a bit. We've got a great window so far. We've got rid of a lot of Deadwood, Aidan Flint and all them have gone. And we've replaced them with some quality players. We've got Hoover and Chiquinho from Wolves on loan. Mark Travers on loan from Bournemouth. I reckon he'll do really well this year. Like I say, Wesley, great strong target man. I watched the Irish guy make his prediction video and he doesn't think Wesley will score any more than 3 goals in the league. And if he does score more than 3 goals, he's going to pour a pint of milk over himself. So if he does, I'm going to buy that milk and make sure you pour it over your head, because I reckon Wesley will do well this year. Probably not 10, 50, 20 goals a season. Probably like 8, 9. Ryan Mai, hopefully probably get a lot of the starts. A very young lad. Chiquinho doing really well. Hoover. We still got Michael Rose. We got in on a free. He looks really good. Coventry will still let him go. I just think Stoke have got that squad that we needed last year to go up, and we saw glimpses of that with some big wins against Coventry and Sunderland. So I put Stoke in 8th because of that. Just a little bit lacking of the playoffs, but hopefully that is to come. But I think 8th is respectful, and we're doing doubly better from what we did last year on 16th. So 8th for the mighty Potters. I don't think that's too bad. Next up, alphabetical order, Sunderland, who came 6th last year. I put them finishing in 3rd position. They've still got a very, very strong squad. No matter if we did beat them 5-1 or not, they've still got a very strong squad, probably much stronger than ours. Diallo may have gone, but he's still got Ross Stewart, and he's still got Clark as well on the wing, who's really good. He also brought in Dak, Semedo, and Job Bellingham as well. All great signings. I don't think you've weakened your squad at all. You've just strengthened it even more. So I think you're going to do even better than what you did last year. And I'm going to put you finishing in 3rd. But I reckon there's going to be a big, big gap between 2nd and 3rd this year. Like I think it's got like 15 or so points. So that's why I put Sunderland in 3rd position. Close to the end now, we've got Swansea, who I'm going to predict to finish 14th. Finished 10th last year. Not too bad under Russell Martin, but obviously he's now gone to Southampton. He's strengthened a little bit and getting like players like Jerry Rates from Blackpool. They've also got Josh Ginley, apparently he looks promising, so I've heard. And you still got Joel Perreault on your books as well, he's a great player for you. And if he does leave, so there is hints that he might go, I reckon you finish a lot lower than 14th. But I put you 14th. It's a great mid-table place to have. Just because you've lost Russell Martin, that's probably why I've dropped you down a bit. So that's why I put you in 14th. Moving straight on for them, we've got Watford. I'm going to put them in 10th. Finished 11th last year. Probably do one better. They got Ismail's manager, beat Stoke last game of the season 2-0. Still got a very, very strong squad, but a lot of those players have gone, like Kawaseli has also gone. You've lost João Pedro and Ismail Assar. So you've lost a good core of your team there. You got Jamal Lewis and Chukwueze, apparently some Georgian midfielder who looks really good. Truta Kong's also coming back. You still got Domingos Keener as well. So you've still got a good core, and you could push playoffs if you get the right players in. But I've gone for 10th. I think it's respectable at the moment. I'd say the right players, you can be pushing for those Leeds, Leicesters, Southamptons, Coventries this season. Finally, West Bromwich Albion. I've got them finishing one above Watford in 9th. There's only been a little bit of business done. Finished 9th last year. I reckon you finished 9th again. Carlos Corberán is a very, very solid manager, rated really highly. I think you were bottom 3 with like Middlesbrough last season. Came in, sorted you out, went straight up the table, started rising up. So I reckon he'll do the same again. Probably start really strong and then slip off towards the end. You've still got Dean Garner, and you also got Sarmiento. I think his name is from Brighton. I reckon he's a great player, and I reckon he'll kick on the Championship. But just lack of goals will probably keep you outside the playoffs. So 9th for West Brom. And that's it. We got through them all. Managed to do it. So the full list is here. I'm gonna obviously it's the toughest league in the world to predict. So it's not going to be easy. There's obviously going to be a lot of people in the comments probably like we should be finished. We should be higher. I can't believe you put us this high up. It's so hard to predict. Anyone from relegation to about before playoffs, anyone can finish anywhere. So the top 6 that probably will stay there, which I'm happy with. So hope you guys liked the prediction video. If you did, drop a like, and if you're new, hit subscribe as well for more Stoke City related content and maybe some Championship related content in the future. So I'm trying to expand the channel and broaden my horizons a little bit more. If you guys want me to do a Premier League predictions video, I have done some predictions. I put them on my phone. I've done it. I'll do some more research and I'll do a Premier League predictions video if you guys want to see that. Like I say, if you do, hit the like and I will get that out for you. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, hit subscribe. You can cancel whenever you want, and also get updated on your sub box when I upload. So thank you guys for watching. This is Bones. I'm signing out. Peace.